Hey guys, I'm Nathan from Harrison Audio, and in this video we're going to look at the new Dolby Atmos in Mixbus version 10. You may not believe this, but I actually got an email this morning from a customer asking when the new Dolby Atmos is going to be implemented into Mixbus. And lo and behold, here we are. So let's look at the session I have set up here and let's learn all about Dolby Atmos in Mixbus version 10. All right, so in this session I have a stereo mix already set up and routed. And what that means is I have my drums sent to my drum bus, my bass, strings, and electric guitar sent to their respective buses, and I have a full-on mix going on. So let's take a listen to what we have so far. So notice everything is going from a channel over to a bus, and then from the bus over to the master bus. And then that is going out my monitor bus that's going out to my speakers. Now there's lots of different routing options as far as master bus and monitor bus, and we're not going to worry about that right now. But let's go ahead and turn on the immersive panning here in Mixbus version 10. All we have to do is go to Session, Immersive Panning, and now it is turned on. I know from my experience in other DAWs that is not always that easy. So thankfully in Mixbus version 10, we just made it so simple that you can figure it out pretty quick. So notice a few things here. Since I'm sending my channels over to buses, it's not allowing me to send my channels also to an immersive bus because I already have immersive panning on the buses itself. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a channel being sent to an immersive bus and also a bus sent to the immersive bus. But let's look at the options that we have on the immersive panner itself. So if it's a stereo track, you're going to get two panners, one for the left and one for the right. And if we click on this switcher here, we have some options to only control the left, only the right. We can mirror the x-axis. We can also mirror the y-axis, or we can just mirror. So let's choose each one and see what it does. So only the left is going to move the left, but not the right. Only the right is going to move the right, but not the left. See, I can't grab the left anymore. Mirror X is going to allow me to go side to side, like so. And mirror Y is going to allow me to go up and down. And then mirror is going to let me go in a circle, essentially. That's actually really fun. I like doing that. So now if we play our drum bus, we can look over on the immersive master bus and see our 7.1.4 speaker array and where the signal is actually being sent. Let's switch us over to Mirror X. Okay, so now I'm only sending to the front, left, and right speakers. And now I'm only sending it to the back. I'm actually listening to a binaural mix through the binaural output. Now if we go down to the immersive bus and click on routing grid, we can see we can actually set up all of our speakers to different outputs that we have. Now in this video, I'm actually using the SSL 12. So this allows me to have essentially 8 different outputs. But there's plenty of other interfaces that allow you to get the full 7.1.4 speaker setup that you would want to have for your immersive room. And we can see right now, this is going to the binaural left and the binaural right. So also notice when I added the immersive master bus, that my actual master bus is now muted because I don't want to listen to the master bus and also what's being sent to the binaural out, which is what my headphones are listening to, or to my speakers. And if I did unmute that, we're essentially doubling the volume. And we don't want to do that. So this does allow you to toggle back and forth between what you're hearing on the master bus and what you're hearing through your binaural out or through your speaker out. So just by muting whichever one you want, you can A/B pretty quick. Okay, the trim knob is going to either increase or decrease the amount of signal being sent to the speakers. Okay, so you can hear the drums getting lower and higher in the mix there. We can also adjust the size, which is essentially the amount of signal being sent to all the speakers instead of just one or two. So if we had the left and right hard panned, then we're only getting in those two speakers. But as I increase the size, it can now be sent to all the speakers at once. Now this slider allows you to change the height of your panners. But if we choose this drop-down menu here, we can actually change the ceiling type, and it's going to give us a certain shape of our room. So with it off, these panners just stay nice and low, kind of like to the ground of your room. But if I change this to wedge, now we can see that the panners are either going up, kind of like in a house kind of roof shape. So it goes down when they're on the front, it goes up toward the tip, then it goes back down when you move it to the back. Okay, the dome shape, think of it kind of like an igloo. We have a nice round circle, nice and even, then it starts curving up as it goes to the top of the ceiling. So I keep the panners on the perimeter, but as I go toward the middle, they get higher. And that happens anywhere over here. Okay, and then the last one is the ceiling, which is going to start kind of sharp and then it's going to flatten out toward the end. See, it stays high all the way through to the back. Then as I go back to the front, it's going to drop back down. Okay, so depending on your needs for your mix, you can incorporate any one of these options and just kind of play around and have fun, especially if you have a full 12 speaker setup in your room. You can start hearing things flying around on the ceiling, around you, in the front and in the back. So it is a very cool experience. But if you just have a basic setup at your house and you want to start experimenting with Dolby Atmos, you can hear a little bit of that phenomenon in your headphones, but it's not going to be the full experience that you would get with an actual 12 speaker setup. All right, so now just for fun, let's go ahead and do a little mix. I'm going to keep my drums in the front, but let's say I want to have my strings more in the back. So let's check this out. Let's do that one more time. So what we have here is the drums kind of up front, the strings in the back. I'm going to have the guitars higher and more in the middle. Okay, and if you're panning changes the volume of your mix a little bit, that's where the trim knob comes in. So I noticed that the guitar is a little lower in the mix now, so I'm going to bring that up with the trim knob. Okay, so this allows you to keep your stereo mix just as you had it, because notice over here on the individual channels, I have the electric guitar pan left and the other electric guitar pan right. So even though those are panned, I'm still doing a separate panning with the actual immersive panning. So now when you A-B back and forth, you can hear the guitars just as you had it in your stereo mix, and now hear a totally separate mix or balance of your mix when you switch back over to the immersive master bus. So let's do that real fast. So I'm going to mute the binaural out, and here's the stereo mix as I had it before. Okay, switch it over to the binaural. Okay, now notice that the volumes are a little bit different. So what we can do here is actually use the input trim on the immersive master bus. And I'm pretty sure that when you export this, they want it to be in the -20 dB range. So we're going to pull the trim down till we see the LUFS value hit that -21, -20 area. Let's restart it so it kind of refreshes. And that looks like a good level to me. So let's bounce back and forth. So let's go back to our master bus. And here's the binaural out. So it's okay to have a little bit of volume difference, but they really do want that ADM file to be around -20. So now that we're done with our mix, we can export this as an ADM file. You can pull this into the Dolby renderer, and you can also upload it to multiple different distribution services like DistroKid, and there's also SoundDrop and TuneCore. So if you go over to Session and Export, we can go to Export Immersive ADM. And it's just going to bring up a very simple export window. And we can have the range be start to end or any other range that we have in the session. And we can also open the folder where the files are exported after we're done. So let's go ahead and export this. And there is our ADM.wave file that you can now upload to your distribution services online. And if we right click on this file, we can go to Info. And we can see that the audio channels is 34 channels in total. It's a 48K file and it's 24-bit and it's about 52 seconds long. So I'll be sure to do some more videos on Dolby Atmos. But for now, I just wanted to give you an introduction on what's possible. So if you have any further questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. Go to harrisonaudio.com, download the demo, or purchase version 10 for yourself, and start messing around with Dolby Atmos. So thanks guys for watching. Once again, I'm Nathan from Harrison Audio, and I'll see you in the next video.